It's Terrell, Dustin's wife, and I figured I'd make some buffalo slash Dustin's meat, deer meat. We got all our ingredients set up. We have oregano, cumin, lemon pepper, all important, garlic powder, and minced onion. Then we have buffalo meat, which is, I'm making about 4 pounds this week because Dustin's going to be in for about a week till right the day after Christmas or Christmas Day, depending. So I'm going to do 4 pounds this week. The buffalo you can get at Publix. The deer meat, it's a little harder. We hunt, so we get our own and we have it processed. So this is our deer meat that we have, Dustin actually killed last year. We keep it in a deep freezer. It keeps it fresh, and when we need it, we pull it out. It is supplements, and both of these meats are extremely lean, and it's why Dustin likes them. So what we're gonna do is find my kitchen scissors, and we're going to cut this package up. If I can make the scissors work, maybe. I don't know. I'm a little nervous, and it's only YouTube. So here you go. You gotta shake it down so it doesn't get grossness on the thing. Now I put the blood in here, don't tell Dustin, because it does have flavor in it. So I cut it in half just like this, and sometimes you gotta watch out, there's like a little pack in there. You just stick it in there. Oh, and I forgot to tell you about another ingredient that I use, which is low sodium Worcestershire sauce, because I also use this low sodium beef base bouillon, better than bouillon. I use low sodium because all of these lemon peppers, lemon pepper has a lot of salt in it, and it's not obviously good for you. And you know, you can salt it later if you want more salt in it, but the less sodium the better. And once you start getting used to using less sodium, you will actually start realizing how much salt is in processed foods. We try to stay away from that. So here. This ranges from either from $8 to $10. This is the most expensive I've ever seen it at Publix. So you can get it cheaper. I just didn't. I usually buy it on sale and then stick it in the freezer. The deer meat, you can actually get deer meat at some specialty stores like Whole Foods and stuff like that. It does get expensive. That's why we kind of try to go for the hunting aspect. And we do use all the deer. All the way down to the antlers, which we give to our dogs because they're good chew toys. And if you ever go to a pet store, it's almost like $20 for a deer antler this big. It's ridiculous. Why do that when I can just get them in the woods? This is deer meat. See, it's been frozen. See how it's very much red in the middle. And what they do is they do cut it with fat because deer is so very lean that it does not have it in there. So they cut it with a little beef fat in there so that it's not so dried out. At the end, I'll show you what I do for that because Dustin doesn't want that fat in there. Okay, get this in here. All right. So we're gonna stick this in here. We're gonna turn the stove. I just do it in a big pot because it gets to be a lot, especially when you're doing 4 pounds. And I do 50-50. I do 50 deer, 50 buffalo is usually what I do. Excuse me while I wash my hands. Clean up the blood. So if you're squeamish, sorry. Girls can't be squeamish because, you know, we have those things every year, every month, every year. That would be interesting. Okay, I'm turning this on. I'm turning this on to 4. I usually stick it on 4, and then as it goes, I stick it up a little bit higher. In the interim, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of like make a hole and get out a spoon. Because it's 4 pounds, I'm going to double this. So I usually only use about a teaspoon per, and this is a teaspoon soup spoon, so it's a little bit bigger. But I usually only use a teaspoon for 2 pounds. And I'm not going to use much more because it gets overwhelming. The beef flavor gets a little too overwhelming. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this in just like this and make a hole. This is brand new. I'm not real. I'll put this in the refrigerator. We use this a lot. I make meat for Dustin every single week, but a nice healthy spoonful. And as you can see, it's very runny because I might put a little bit more in there. Deer meat is very gamey, and that's what a lot of people have problems with is that deer meat is so gamey. Now, I'm just getting the rest of that in that meat. So how I combat that, because it's so gamey, you have to do something. So I put a lot of beef stock in there so that it tastes more like beef than it does the game flavor that you get from game meats. It's a way to combat it, because you have to have like a taste for it, like lamb. If you like lamb, you'll probably like the game and deer meat. But I have made it so that people don't even know that they're eating deer meat sometimes, because that's how I combat that game flavor. Now I'm using this Worcestershire sauce. It is low sodium also, because, yeah, too much salt is a bad thing. And it'll puff you up like a balloon, and Dustin doesn't want to retain water. Don't tell him I said that either. Like, he won't see it on YouTube. But anyway, shh, maybe he won't watch the whole thing. And I can't even open this. This is, okay, I'm sad. No, no, I'll do it. I can do it. Okay, there we go. A little Worcestershire sauce. Now you're probably saying, "Oh, how much was that?" That was a few shakes. I'm not good with measurements. I just sort of put it in there. That's what I do. So it seems to work out. Every once in a while it doesn't work out so good, but that's okay. Then we just don't eat it. We can get rid of it before anybody notices. Okay, so now it's starting to go, and you can see down here that that's starting to melt a little bit more, and it's bubbling a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my fork out, because I like working with forks. As a cook, I think forks rock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it and start stirring that in. Alright, see how it's making it brown a little bit. Now my deer meat is a little bit frozen still, but that's okay. That's quite alright. So, alright, here we go. Stirred up. Doesn't look very stirred, but whatever. I do this every single week, so I get a little... It's the same every week too, because Dustin is a creature of habit. So, there we go. We've got that all stirred up. All right. Now, seasonings. Dustin likes a lot of seasoning. So he used to get this, he thinks he uses this because he tells me to, but it is loaded with salt. And I'm really weird about salt. I think that too much salt is a bad thing. So what I do, I trick him. And I used minced onion, which has no salt in it. Which, like I said, I'm not big on measurements, but we'll try. So I'm gonna pour this in and I'm gonna eyeball it. So that's about a handful, and then I'm gonna go like this. And of course, this is a home cooking thing, so it's not like I'm washing my hands every 3 seconds, okay? I just, you know, it's me, it's my husband. If I poison him, he'll let me know. And because it's 2 handfuls, because this is 4 pounds, it's usually I would only do 1 handful. Or I would not even use a handful. I would just shake it in until it looked right. So, yeah, that's me. So, garlic powder. He loves garlic powder. And I am just shaking this in. And here, if you can see, it's quite a bit, actually, of thing. And it's probably about half a handful. There we go. We've got a little more. It looks like it needs a little bit more. Okay, and then we've got the lemon pepper. I use this one because it's, salt is not the first ingredient on it, but it is the third. So that's where a lot of the salt comes from for the meat. So that's one of the reasons why I use a lot of low sodium. So we'll do this so that you can see. This is a lot. I use a lot of this because I'm a lemon pepper fan. There you go. There you go. So on the poisoning part, I haven't poisoned them yet, so it's okay. So, yeah, no poison yet. But, you know, most of us cook like this. We don't like, you know, in our own kitchens, we don't like use hand sanitizer every 3 seconds. Okay, now this is Dustin's favorite thing in the world. It's cumin. He likes cumin in everything. Me personally, I think it smells like dirty socks. It just, ugh. And the only thing I use it in for me or for the rest of the family is chili. I do use a lot of it in chili. But anything else, I'm not putting cumin in it. So, but Dustin adores cumin. He loves it so much. Okay, so what I'm doing is a big old handful of cumin. There we go. And that was like 1.5 maybe. 1.5. That I might have to add more cumin. Surprise. Okay, now I put oregano in it because I just, you know, hate the smell of cumin so much. So we're gonna, and like I said, this is double what I usually make, but Dustin's gonna be home, so about a handful of oregano. There you go. Yeah, just a little bit more for luck. But, you know, I have a feeling I'm going to have to put some more cumin in this. Okay, now, and as you see, I stirred in the Worcestershire sauce and the bouillon right before that. Now I'm going to stir in this. That means the bottom has cooked a little bit. It's starting to cook on the bottom. And it's still on 4, and then I'm just going to stir it. Stir it up. And it is browning, and I am going by what it looks like, literally what it looks like. So it looks like, and what it smells like a lot of people cook and they just are exact on measurements. If it doesn't smell right to me, that's one indication. Like if it doesn't smell like it's supposed to smell like, for me, that's one indication that I need one more spice or so. Yeah, it smells like cumin, which Dustin's gonna love because he loves cumin. So as you can see, I really stirred the crap out of it, and I lost some right there and there, so you put it back in there. And so see how you can see the spices through all the meat here? That is really the goal. And a little bit of flakes of onion and all that stuff. That is really the goal. So here we go. There you go. And we're going to leave this on here, and we're going to come back every 5-6 minutes and stir. Okay?